Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Holy Plot. This is Liam, Jacob, and James, and today we saw the extra early sneak preview of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. What do we think about it, fellas?
I thought it was very good. I know people have been anticipating this movie for a long time, and I know the fan base around the IP is very passionate. So I'm very happy for you guys. I'm not necessarily like a dedicated fan, but not to say I didn't have a great time watching this. This was a fantastic, honestly, probably the best that you could really do as far as like an animated movie with the Turtles. I really enjoyed it, and probably the most notable thing I have to start us out with is that they actually made them teenagers. And I really appreciated that because previously it's kind of felt like Andrew Garfield in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. You know, it's like they kind of don't, they feel like
That's
adults.
the question.
Yeah, they feel like adults in teenage bodies. But here, I think they really nailed the vibe of them being teenagers. They were making jokes that teenagers make. They were a little cringy at times, which I thought was like well done. It wasn't like unbearable. I thought that they were cringy in a good way. You know, they were acting like awkward teenagers. You don't know what they're doing, and I really appreciated that. So that stuck out for me for sure.
The thing that stuck out the most to me, besides that, which I agree with, was the animation for sure.
Absolutely.
Which I know it's low-hanging fruit with any of these Spider-Verse-y new animated features coming out, but I mean, I don't want us to get numb to it because it is so refreshing and cool to see these movies come out, and they each one are so distinct and visually interesting compared to each other. You look at something like Puss in Boots last year, which was almost, I think we've said it before on this channel, where it's almost like an oil painting, and this is a little bit like graffiti. I just want more of that. And it's exciting because I think even the new Disney princess movie coming out is a bit more stylized. So we're seeing a really, really cool shift in animation where, I mean, movie to movie, the style is completely different, which I'm all for.
Needed, much
yeah,
needed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the way the director of the movie described it was that he wanted it to feel like 12-year-olds drew it. Once again, kind of playing back at the whole teenager theme. So like you'll notice some of the models aren't symmetrical. He was like, you know, typical errors that a kid makes when they're drawing a person. They kind of implemented in the animation, and I really thought that. I thought it was kind of cute.
I don't think there was a single perfect circle in that entire movie.
No, not at all. Like the bushes were kind of like doodles, and it was really cool. I thought it was very in character for the IP that we're dealing with.
Doodlecore.
It like made me realize how non-expressive animated movies had gotten over the years, trying to be photorealistic. It was very early on in this movie when they're just like stealing stuff to get back to the sewers. I realized, like, man, I'm watching like an animated movie again. This is like super vibrant. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and like another part of that was the animation definitely enabled them to have the cool action that you'd come to expect with this type of thing.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the action without getting into spoilers. What do you think about it?
There's one sequence in this movie which I really can't say much about without spoiling it. That was just so electric, and I think you guys probably know what I'm talking about. Where it's cutting around a good amount.
Yes. Is it in a confined space?
Sort of. Well,
okay.
To the benefit of the movie, there's multiple scenes that I could be talking about, and
yeah, because there are a lot of really good action scenes.
The action is just fantastic in this. It's a lot of fun, and I really appreciated that they nailed that because all the four of them have unique fighting styles, and it felt that way, and I thought that was really cool.
Well, do we want to talk about the story a little bit?
Yeah, I'm down.
James,
how about you lead us off, James?
So the story of this movie, for once, we're getting a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle story that does not immediately start with Shredder. So that was something just immediately that I appreciated.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so, you know, basically just going off what the trailers show, this is a movie about, you know, obviously the Turtles, they are really teenagers in this one. They haven't gotten out into the world yet. They really want to. This movie tackles a lot about how the Turtles and Splinter feel about, like, the surface world with the humans. But basically they find out that there is another group of mutants from the same ooze, the leader of which is the character Superfly, voiced by Ice Cube, I think.
Which that was really fun.
And that's as far as I'm going to get into talking about the plot, but it's really focusing on the fact just as much about them being teenagers that they're mutants and not ignoring kind of the divide that they feel from humanity. So
there's a lot of.
If anything, the divide they feel is sort of the crux of the movie.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it kind of plays into their motivation and into the theme of the movie, which is revealed later. I thought it was very naturally done. It didn't feel like awkwardly delivered or contrived, honestly. This movie does a lot of similar things to a lot of other movies like it, and it never felt like I was watching something I've seen before.
To me, this movie just felt super light and breezy and quick, which I've seen some people online complain that they wanted it to be maybe even a bit longer. I
I don't know
honestly
about that.
disagree with that. I feel
Yeah, I
like,
disagree with that too.
yeah, I feel like it was a very sort of like a snappy movie where these scenes, it's not one of those movies where scenes are just happening, but it's always hitting you with new stuff to look at, new characters, new plot points to think about. It's there's not a lot of downtime in this movie, which it can work to a movie's detriment sometimes when you're just going around 100 miles an hour. But this one, I feel like really pulled it off. I thought all of the characters in it were well developed and unique, and there wasn't a character that really jumped out at me as like the grown character, for lack of a better term. Like
Black Sheep.
yeah, everyone who
Yeah.
was in this felt like they were serving a purpose for the narrative with their own motivations and their own little moment in the action. So I really liked it.
Something I want
everybody's
to
favorite?
kind of piggyback off that is the voice cast in this movie.
Stellar.
Notably was Jackie Chan was so hilarious in
He's
this.
great.
He was just perfectly cast,
And a lot of heart too in his performance.
yeah, he was having a good time, and I mean, I think it kind of comes back to Seth Rogen as the producer. Seth Rogen's a bit of on a roll here. He's done The Boys and Invincible in this, and he just has this ability to assemble a large group of people around him. Like Giancarlo Esposito's in this movie, and John Cena's in this movie, and all these pretty big actors that, I mean, a lot like Oppenheimer, they don't have the biggest parts in the world, but they're clearly on board with what's going on and having a good time. And I really like that. It made the movie feel big, and it had a lot of characters to juggle, so I appreciated that.
Who's everybody's favorite character?
I mean, I'm kind
Leonardo
of
here.
yeah, I'm a Leonardo guy.
I think for this movie, and normally I'm a Leonardo person. I actually liked Raphael a lot in this movie.
He was funny in this.
Yeah, all four of them were great. They had distinct personalities, which I liked. In that, not once again, not to spoil anything, but it comes into play. Their distinct identities are very vital to the movie, and they're not ignored. And I really that stuck out to me because I think some people can write them off as a bit homogenous with one another, but this movie did not, and I really appreciated that.
The voice cast really brought that out too. Brought out
For
the
sure.
differences. I think more than any other voice cast. I mean, I'm not a big Ninja Turtles fan. I really have only seen little glimpses of each other voice cast, so I can't really say that confidently. This is definitely the most I've enjoyed the characters.
Yeah, this is a big step up, and I'm really happy for you guys. I know you've been waiting for your break. I know you've gotten some good TV shows after the years, but now you got your movie in theaters, and everyone's talking about how good it is, and I heavily recommend you go see it next week. So with that all said, I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a 7, closer to an 8 than a 6. It was very fun, like I said, very light, very snappy. The plot, while succinct and entertaining, didn't blow my mind.
That's fair.
I'm not the most intense Ninja Turtles fan on the planet, but as a basically blind fan going in, I was entertained. I would watch the sequel. 7 out of 10. Go see it.
Yeah, I think that's a good score too.
Yeah, I'm between a 7 and an 8, but I think I am going to give it an 8. You know, it's simple, it's quick, and it's really fun, and there's nothing wrong with a 7. So I'm gonna give it a 7. Absolutely. They announced a sequel. They announced an animated show. I'm in. I'll definitely tune in.
Yeah, and I mean, we just need more of this kind of thing right now. So I'm very, very glad it got made.
Go see it.
Sure.
Go support it. Go support movie theaters. Unless we have anything else, I think we can wrap it up.
Support us too. Like and subscribe.
Oh yeah. Very, very important. Yeah. And thank you for all your interactions on our recent stuff. We really do appreciate it.
Yes, we reply to every single comment.
That's true.
That is very true.
Like, subscribe. This has been Holy Plot. We are your hosts, Liam, Jacob, and James. We'll catch you next time.